Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do a hearty winter soup. Oh yes, I'm going to make chicken and leek soup. A few shout outs before we start. One to my new Patreon fan, Sophie Pearson, and also to Robert Shepherd, who made a magnificent donation via PayPal. Much appreciated. Alright, non-specific hearty winter soup was requested by Nick Hartley, Paul Clark and Elizabeth Nielsen. So, hearty winter soup, what does it mean? What are we saying? I think basically it's anything that isn't kind of light and clear with stuff floating in it. It's dense, thick, and just, you know, sticks to your ribs. If you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. Okay, rib sticking, winter warmer, hearty winter soup. Let's do it. Now, I always say that the key to making a great soup is to have a great stock. So if you do happen to have some homemade chicken stock around, you can skip this step. Otherwise, follow this procedure or use some ready-made stock from the shop. So for your stock, you will need chicken and a large carrot, a couple of small medium-ish onions or one big one, and 2 or 3 sticks of celery and some herbs. I've got a small handful of flat leaf parsley. I've got a couple of teaspoons of whole black peppercorns, 2 bay leaves and a couple of sprigs of thyme. You can use dried herbs if you haven't got fresh available. Also, unusually for, well, chicken stock, I've got a couple of medium potatoes, and I wouldn't normally put those in a stock, but for this I want the stock to be thick, and these will disintegrate during cooking and thicken it. So you'll notice I've got my pressure cooker to hand because that's what I'm going to cook it in, so it'll only take about 20-30 minutes. If you don't have a pressure cooker or you don't want to use it, you can do it in a slow cooker, crock pot. It'll take about 8 hours or overnight, or in a regular big saucepan Dutch oven thing, and it'll take maybe about 3 or 4 hours. Right, I need to start off by hacking the chicken to bits, and it looks really small. It's actually a medium-sized chicken, 1.3 kilos, but yeah, anyway. So I'm going to take the legs off. And the breasts. I'll keep the wings on the carcass and put that in the pot. I'll take the skin off the breasts. So I'll wrap these up in plastic bags and wash all the stuff that's been in contact with the raw chicken, and then chop up the veg. Okay, so I want to just top and tail the onions, top and tail the carrot and peel it. And then we'll just dice the carrot. Just give the celery a bit of a wash because it's got some soil on it. And chop it into little wee bits. So again, this is the classic sort of holy trinity of, well, French cooking, sauce making, the mirepoix, except normally it's chopped a lot more finely. And now we need to peel the potatoes and dice them. Now we add the herbs and the peppercorns and top it up with enough warm water to cover everything. And pop it on the stove, bring it up to boiling, put the lid on, bring it up to pressure, and then let it cook under pressure for, well, I'll give it 30 minutes I think. And then I'll depressurise it under a cold water tap. Now we need to strain the liquid from the stock using a colander over a big saucepan. And we'll fish out the bits of potato and put those in, and maybe the bits of carrot as well. Just taste it, see if it needs salt and give it some if it does. And we want that to reduce and thicken. Now I'm going to start making the soup proper, so I'll begin with a mirepoix kind of thing. It's very finely chopped onion, carrot and celery, so we prep those first and get those cooking. So we start to make the soup by sweating the onion and the carrot and the celery in butter on very, very low heat for about 10 minutes, and that gets them starting to release their flavour and aroma. While the veggies are sweating and the stock is reducing, I'll just cut the parsnip into small dice-ish. I think whoever came up with that term didn't know much about geometry. And slice the leek. Set those aside. Now I've got 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to cut them into kind of bite-sized pieces. So now the sweated vegetables are done, actually a teeny bit overdone, I know. So I'm going to pour the stock into that pan. And add the leeks, and the parsnips, and the chicken. And then top it up with some milk. I'll put the lid on and just let that simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And then check it for seasoning again, and then we are done. And now there's a blizzard outside, it's deepest, darkest winter, and it's taste test time of hearty winter soup with Mrs. KeefCooks.
I thought I should look the part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your nose isn't.
Really are. Only just dressed up for the part.
Okay.
Oh wow, that looks absolutely marvellous. Oh, it really does. It really does. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Mm. Doesn't taste bad either. Mm. That was actually a big chunk of chicken.
Mm. They are big chunks.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, and sourdough bread.
Oh yeah.
From the supermarket.
Yeah, we've actually had shop bought sourdough bread this week. Really beautiful. Saves you a job, doesn't it?
Well, I got rid of my sourdough starter a couple of weeks ago because I just couldn't keep it up. I wasn't doing anything with it, was I? Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you'd been using it for making like sort of fritters and pancakes and things when we had
Crumpets.
No, I was thinking about when we were having kippers. And you can do that for a while. But oh yes.
Oh, pie cloves. Yeah.
Mm. And sourdough bread's just delicious.
Okay.
Gosh, this winter warmer has warmed me up. I'm feeling ever so warm.
Okay. Mm. Yeah, it's good. It might seem fussy and complicated, but it isn't. So get it made. All right. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Like some.
Smile.
I'm smiling all the way. No, seriously. This is just wonderful, and of course means if you make it at the weekend, you can take it into work with you. You can have it when you get home at the end of the day, and when you've been out and walked the dog or been to the shops or whatever, and you come back going, oh my god, that heats up fast, doesn't it?
Okay.
Thank you, Keefy.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for watching, and you're stuck now, aren't you?
Not fine.
See you next time.